This is the plaintiff, Elizabeth Rodriguez. She says the defendant was supposed to marry her brother, but things didn't work out and they parted ways. Now she can't seem to get the defendant to pay her back money she loaned her. Just because the defendant's having issues with her brother doesn't mean she can take it out on her and not pay back the $470 she's owed, so she's suing. This is the defendant, Francine. She says she has a 2-year-old son with the plaintiff's brother, and he owes her $4,000 in back child support. She has no idea why the plaintiff is suing her because she paid her in full and has the bank records to prove it. Perhaps the woman's angry she's going after her brother in family court for the back child support, and that's why she's suing? Who knows? She's accused of being lax on a loan.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff says the defendant was supposed to marry her brother. The plaintiff loaned the defendant money. The wedding was called off, and now she got stiffed. But the defendant says the plaintiff's brother owes $4,000 in child support, and she's paid the plaintiff. It's the case of she's not getting stiffed, but I am.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, Elizabeth Rodriguez, you are suing Francine. You asked to be referred to only by your middle name, correct?
Correct.
All right. For $470 remaining dollars that you say she has not paid on a loan that you made to her, tell me how this happened. Go ahead.
Okay, I've known her for 5 years. On January of this year, she texted me indicating that she needed money.
How do you know her?
She was supposed to marry my brother, and I was supposed to be the maid of honor.
And what happened? Who broke it off?
What happened was my brother's divorce wasn't finalized.
Oh, that'll get you every time.
Yes, so everything was ready for the wedding, and at the last minute, we found out.
And then they broke up?
Yes, they did.
Okay, and who broke up? Do you know or not really?
My brother broke up
with her. Okay, so and when was that?
A year after, because she was pregnant from my nephew.
Okay.
So it was a year after they were supposed to get married.
Okay, so she calls you 3 years afterwards. The baby's
She's always called me. We always kept contact, even when she was having problems with my brother due to my brother's other girlfriend or situations with the baby being sick. She always contacted me. So we always had contact at all times.
Okay.
I even encouraged her to do what you have to do as a mom and take my brother for child support.
Okay, and what happened?
Then in January of this year, she contacted me through text. She asked me if she could borrow some money, but I will get her the money, so I lent her $400.
Where'd you get the $400?
I got them from my aunt's friend. Yes.
You got it from your aunt's friend?
Yes.
So you borrowed money in order to be able to loan her money?
Yes.
Okay, do you have kids?
No, I don't.
Okay, go on.
So then she paid me back. That was fine at the end of the month. Then she contacted me again in March. She indicated she needed $334 for Con Edison, her light bill. Being that she paid me the first time, there was no problem. We always had a good relationship, so I didn't think anything of it. And I gave her the money.
Did she pay you that one back?
Yes, she did.
All right, now we come to the third time that's the charm.
The third time, she texts me in April, and she says that she needs $600. While she's texting me, I'm informing my coworker about it. I even showed her the text. My coworker tells me, well, since she's paid you all the time, she feels like she's desperately in need of this money, lend them to her. I told my coworker, I really don't have it right now to lend her the money. So my coworker tells me, since she's paid you previous times, let's just lend her the money. I said, fine.
What does let's mean?
Well,
it means your coworker
my coworker will give me the money so I could give it to Ms.
She texts you, my taxes are being held by the IRS for review. They won't tell me why, telling me I got to wait 30 more days. It set me back on bills and rent. I need to borrow, and if you have to pay a certain amount every week, I'll pay it off, I will. And then you answer, how much money are we talking about? I need to speak to Evelyn about that. Who's Evelyn, the person who helped?
No, Evelyn is my aunt, where I borrowed the money the first time.
Morning, Lisa. Happy Friday. Wanted to know if you were able to talk to Evelyn for me. So she's all kinds of texty in April when she's getting the money.
Yes.
One of my coworkers told me that she could lend them to you, but you will have to pay her $125 a week You have to make sure I get this money every Friday because I will be responsible for bringing them in on Monday. That's fine. I can do that. You can do what?
It was 600 and with the interest of 150. So it was 750 that she had loaned me in cash.
Right. So you were going to pay 125
a week. Correct.
I don't want to be rude, but I can't keep helping you out like this every month. I don't even borrow for my needs. I don't want to keep borrowing for someone else. I know, mamas, I didn't even want to borrow. I was expecting my taxes to come in, blah, blah, blah. I didn't have anybody else to ask. My family don't even help me. All right, so you loan her the money. Mm-hmm. So you loan her the money, and does she pay you 125 that Friday?
No, she didn't. Then I informed her that we could meet up on Saturday because I work in the city, and she could give me the money then. I told her, meet me at 2 o'clock because that's the time I leave work. We could meet up at the train station. She didn't bother to text me or call me till 2 hours later, indicating that she was still in Brooklyn. I was already at home 2 hours later. I told her, well, I'm at home. I'm not going back into the city. So make sure you bring them in to my parents' house Monday morning when you drop off the baby. She dropped off the money at May 1st.
Which was when?
Which was Thursday.
Okay.
And she indicated.
And now the next Friday, the next day, she was going to owe another 125?
She paid two weeks. The week before.
What did she pay exactly?
$280.
That's okay. Because then there became some confusion about whether it was 125 or 150, right?
Correct.
Bottom line is there's no dispute that on the second week, she brought 280 over. Do you dispute that? Or do you say?
I do not.
Okay. And then what happens?
Then I heard she had a confrontation with my mom. I wasn't there, I was working.
What happened with your mom?
I don't know if it was because
What was
of
the
my
fight
brother
about?
or
It was
my nephew.
because of the case of child support with her son having to face almost jail time for owing almost $5,000 in child support. And then she had warned me that if anything happens to her son and he goes to jail, that I will see what's going to happen to me.
And so that was when the confrontation happened?
That's when the confrontation happened.
So what did you do?
I picked up my son and I was leaving.
All right, so go on.
So then I text her and I told her, Chrissy, whatever happened between you and my mom, I don't have nothing to do with it. Since she claimed she wasn't going no more to my parents' house, I texted her, where do you want me to meet? So she could give me the money. She never answered.
That was it?
That
no
was
more
it.
answers.
Okay, so if you had a brother, sister who is engaged, not yet married, would you loan money to that fiance?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't feel that there's an established trust yet. I mean, they've probably been dating for a while, but not around the family or anything like. But once you're a part of the family, then you're in.
Yeah, but they are engaged.
That doesn't make any sense at all to lend somebody who's going to divorce her 2-3 months down the road.
You are such an optimist. You know that? You are the great optimist going inside the courtroom.
Okay, so your first text that goes unanswered is on what day? May what?
May 10th.
May 10th?
Yes.
You reach out to her and she doesn't answer. And the reaching out to her actually starts on May 6th. I don't know what happened between you and my mother, but now you have to tell me where to meet you for the money. I really don't want any problems with this lady because of this. She never answered that
No.
one. Then you send her another one. Hey, what's going on with the money?
That's when
What happened?
When I was leaving her parents' home that day, I had bumped into her while I was taking my son, and she had explained to me how this money had to be paid completely to her friend because she borrowed it from her coworker. So I had money already on me. So I left her the remaining 40 to make it 320 on top of the 280 on May 1st.
Did that happen?
No.
And then what happened?
Then on May 9th, since I knew that she was in a rush to pay off her coworker, I decided to just wait off on my rent and take out the $430 and give her the remaining on May 9th. I even called her on May 9th at her job and informed her.
Do you have a phone record to prove
Yes,
it?
I do.
Let me see. Go on.
Then after that, everything was confirmed. I didn't hear nothing from her.
Okay. What did she talk about on that phone call? It was only 2 minutes.
I didn't speak to her on May 9th.
So according to you, you call her and you talk with her?
Yes, I did.
And what happens?
And I informed her that once again, I was going to leave the money in an envelope with her father. And I went with my coworker. My coworker always drops me off when I go to...
Is this your coworker?
No.
All right. So you have a witness to paying the money and you didn't bring the witness?
She could not attend with me today.
How are you going to prove that you paid her? So according to you, you pay her off on what date?
On May 9th.
On May 9th. But then on May 9th, there are texts to you that say as follows. Where do you want me to meet you tomorrow for the money?
I never received a text message from her.
Hand me your phone and hand me your phone right now. And bring up the texts. Thank you, Douglas. Make sure there's no erasing going on. You have no text after May 1st.
She has nothing.
You don't have anything?
No.
Why?
It erases after a certain period.
Oh, so you got it off the internet?
Yes.
Right. And she has it right here. I'm still waiting for you to text me where I should meet you. Hey, what's going on with the money later on that day? Then you show up. Tell me about you showing up.
Okay. So then a week later, I tell my brother, oh, I'm going to go to her job and talk to her about this money she owes my coworker. So my brother tells me, do me a favor and serve her the court papers. So then I said,
thought you were staying out of it.
no, I wasn't, but she used me as well to serve my brother.
Yeah, why don't you just tell, why are you serving everybody?
She used me to serve
What's
my
wrong with
brother.
you? You understand what staying out of it means? All right, so go on.
So then I go into her workplace.
And you ask for her,
I ask for her.
and then what happens?
She knew that I was there, so she turns around and she tells me, what are you doing here? I said, what do you mean, what am I doing here? I've been calling you and you blocked me from your phone. And I'm telling her, what am I going to tell this lady? What's going on with this money? I helped you out. Now you're leaving me in a jam. She says, well, I don't have it right now. I'm in a tight situation. What do you want me to tell you? And then she indicates that she's going to call the police.
And then you serve her.
I served her the papers. She goes, what is this? And I said, well, you just got served. She's reading the papers.
Did you think that this conversation was going to go better when you went to her workplace? Because you two have never had a problem?
Never.
What's going on?
She never mentioned about the money that I owe her. I had told her, why is she at my job, that this is not the appropriate place.
To do what? If you paid her back, what would you think that she was doing that was inappropriate? If she has no axe to grind against you, why are you, oh, this is not appropriate. Why aren't you like, hi, mamas, and hugging her and kissing her?
Because at my job, we're not supposed to have any family members.
But why aren't you just, hey, how are you? But listen, I'm working. Why are you, this is not the appropriate place. The appropriate place to what? The natural conclusion of that sentence is to try to collect on the money that I still owe you.
I do have a statement from both my coworkers who were there present that she never mentioned anything about money. It was to serve me those papers. And then she was insulting me regarding her brother and why is it that I'm taking him to child support knowing that he can't afford to pay for his 4 children. He only gives $20 a week when it's supposed to be $73.
Why did you have a baby with a guy who doesnent support his kids out of just curiosity?
At the beginning, it was all...
Oh yeah, it's coochie coochie at the beginning. It's after that it's a problem. But you know, the proof is you have like evidence slapping you in the face. If you know he has 3 other kids by one other woman who is having trouble getting child support out of him, like aren't these like symbols to you? Who's that gentleman there?
He's my boyfriend.
He wants to know too. I don't believe you. And which really disappoints me because I don't know why you would have a problem with the one person who you kept turning to over and over again. I don't buy when you're texting each other every day that magically on May 1st, there's no more texts. I'm very good at this. I've been gauging whether people are lying to me for a long time. And when you tell me that your first thought when she walked into your office was this is not the appropriate place for this, it tells me that you're expecting a showdown. And there's only one reason to have a showdown, and that's that you still owed her the money. Pay her the money, $470.
So I'm going to take a little bit of time to talk about something really tragic loss over at the People's Court and something that opened our eyes. We are supporting a bill in the legislature to basically ban texting as many places as possible while you're driving. And one of the reasons our consciousness got raised is there was a little girl, an infant, who was in her baby stroller, and her mother was pushing that stroller, and somebody was driving a bus, was distracted by texting, hit a light pole. The light pole fell in the stroller and killed the baby. Her name is Angeli Hago Paredes. This is the little girl who died, and her mom is a longtime employee of the People's Court. This was a very tragic thing that happened. I got to tell you, I'm guilty of this. I got a ticket once for texting while driving, and I'm doing my best not to do that ever again. It's a bad idea. I'm going to hand out these wristbands. This is for you guys to kind of show support for this concept. And again, this is such a horrible thing. It can happen to anybody, and it's really something to think about.